Hi my dear kids, how are you all? Hope you all are doing great at home, right? So follow our instructions and try to learn every day and do some writing activities, right? So write and see every day. So don't ever leave the gap to write, okay? So in this class, we are in your 3rd standard, your next lesson. So we are going to learn about your next lesson. So that is your 5th lesson, right? So your 5th lesson is about solids, liquids and gases. So in your 3rd standard, your 5th lesson chapter name is solids, liquids and gases. So we are going to learn about this in detail, right? So first we are going to see about solids. So in this world we can see many things, right? So we can see lot of things around us. Yes, so the state of these things only will be in these 3 states. So solids, liquids and gases. So it will be in the 3 forms, right? So first we are going to see about solids. So what are these solids? So solids are hard substances. So when we touch and see, we can feel the hardness, right? So these are the examples of solids. So what are the things that you can see? Yes, so you see book, chair, then table, ice, and then box, wood, pen, all the ice cubes. So these are all the examples of solids. So S-O-L-I-D-S. So S-O-L-I-D-S. So solids. So these solids have some particular characteristics, right? So it has some particular qualities. So when we talk about solids, the solids have a definite shape. Now you can see this box, right? So what is the shape of this box? Yes, we can say the shape of this box, right? So it is in the cube form. So likewise we can say the shape of the book, we can say the shape of these things, right? So these solids have definite shape. It has a definite shape. So solids have a definite shape. Then when we talk about solids in size, so it has a definite size. So we can measure the weight of this box, right? So when we weigh this box, we can say exactly how much kg, how much weight it has, right? When we measure this book, we can say the weight of this book. So likewise, these solids have definite size. So they have definite shape, S-H-A-P-E. So they have definite shape, they have definite size. So they have a definite size, right? But they cannot flow. So we cannot flow the solids. So whether I can take this book in and I can pour it in, make it into another book? No. So we cannot pour it. We cannot flow, right? So solids do not flow. So these are the qualities. These are the characteristics of solids, right? So now we will see about liquids. So what are liquids? So some things, some materials exist in liquid form. So how it exists in solid form, same way it exists in liquid form, right? So what are the examples of liquids? Water, milk, juice, and then some solutions, oil. So these are all the examples of liquids, right? So what are the examples of liquids? Water, milk, juice, oil and some solutions. So these are all the examples of liquids. Now when we talk about the characteristics, when we talk about the qualities of the liquids, so when we talk about the shape, so first whether there is any shape of this milk, whether you can say what is the shape of the milk or what is the shape of the water? No, right? So the liquids occupies the shape of the container in which it is kept. So if I pour this water in a cylindrical glass, it occupies a cylindrical shape. When I pour this water into a bowl, it occupies the shape of the bowl. Right? When I pour this water into a bottle, it occupies the shape of the bottle. So, liquids does not have a definite shape. So, we cannot say the shape. So, there is no definite shape. Liquids does not have a shape. Next, when we talk about size, the volume. So, whether we can measure the amount of the liquids. Yes, so we can measure the volume of the liquids. I can say, bring half liter of milk. Your mother used to say, right? So it means that milk has some weight. Likewise, we can say every day you must drink at least 2 liters of water. So it means that water has a definite size, right? So liquids have a definite size. It does not have a shape, but it has a definite size. And when we talk about the flowing, so liquids flow. So I can flow the glass of liquid, like glass of water into a bowl. I can pour the oil into another bowl, right? So it flows. We can change the material where the liquids is kept, right? So it will flow. So it does not have shape, it has a definite size, and liquids flow, right? So are you clear? Yes. So next we will move on to the third form of matter, right? So the next one about gases. So some materials exist in gaseous state. So mostly the things exist in solid state, liquid state, and the thirdly it is maybe in the gaseous state. So in the form of gas. So mostly we cannot see the gas, right? Yes. So example, air. So air is a mixture of gases. So when you feel the air, you can only feel the air, right? So you cannot see the air. The same way in this tire, so in this tube, so we can store the air. The same way in the balloon, we can blow some air into the balloon and the balloon occupies some air, right? Next, the oxygen that we breathe. So we breathe in oxygen and we exhale carbon dioxide. So the oxygen, carbon dioxide is the air, right? So these are also examples of gases, right? And then you can see the steam engine. The steam engine, what happens? It burns the coal and exhibits the steam, right? So you can see the steam. So steam is also an example of gases. So water vapor is also an example of gases, right? So now when we talk about the qualities or the characteristics, what are the things? So first when we talk about shape. So now tell me whether air has a shape, whether we cannot see the air, right? Yes. Whether the air has some shape? No, we cannot say the shape of the air, right? So it does not have the shape, right? So when we talk about size, so whether we can measure the volume of the air, when you blow some air into a balloon, whether we can measure the volume of the air? No, it does not have any definite size. So gases does not have a definite size. So when we talk about the flowiness, so air flows, we can flow, right? The air flows, right? So the air can be, the gas can be changed from one form to another, I mean the one state to one place to another. So it flows. So gases flow. So gases does not have shape and size and it flows. So it occupies all the available space. So when you flow the air, so when you operate the fan, what happens? The air occupies all the space inside your room, right? So air is that is gases are the only state that occupies all the available spaces, right? Yes. So next we are going to talk about the changes of the state. So before that I want to give you the differences between solid, liquids and gases in a single slide, right? So first when we talk about the shape, so solids have fixed shape. So solids have a fixed shape and solids have a fixed size and solids do not flow. So when we talk about liquids, liquids does not have a shape but it has a fixed size and liquids flow. So when we talk about gases, gases does not have shape, it does not have size and gases also flow very easily. So these are all the differences between the solids, liquids and gases. So you may get this question in your 2 mark or 5 mark. So what are the differences between solids, liquids and gases? So you have to write this in a clear way, putting in a tabular column using a scale and pencil, and you have to write like this clearly, right? Yes. So next we are going to see the changes of the state. So we can change the form of the state. So I already told you the matter or the materials available in 3 states: solids, liquids and gases, right? So now this states can be changed from one form to another. I can change solid into liquid or liquid into gas, gas into liquid and liquid into solid, right? So I can change this state. So but I am going to tell you in this process, like, so solids, though this is solids, I can change the solid. The example of solid which I say is ice cubes, right? So I can change the ice cube into water, and again I can change the water into water vapor. Again the same way when I do some process, so again I can change the water vapor into water. Again if I do some process, the water can be changed into ice cube, right? So now we are going to see what are these processes, right? So first we are going to see about first process. So as I said, the ice cube into water, the solid into water or solid into liquid, right? So first thing is melting. So the process in which a solid changes into liquid. For example, ice is changed into water. So this process is called melting. So when you keep the ice cube outside, because of the room temperature, because of the high temperature, the solid is melting into liquid. The ice is melting into water, right? So this process is called melting. M-E-L-T-I-N-G. So this process is called melting. What is melting? Solid into liquid, solid into liquid, right? So this process is called melting. So usually when we keep outside ice cubes, so we say, right, ice is melting, wax is melting, right? So this is the example, right? So next we will see about evaporation. So as I said, water into water vapor. So if I heat the water, so sometimes maybe you can see when your mother boils water, you can see some steam, neeravi, right? So it goes up. So water is changed into water vapor. So this process is called evaporation. E-V-A-P-O-R-A-T-I-O-N. Evaporation. So in this world there are many places that has water, right? So because of the sunlight, because of the heat of the sunlight, so the sunlight takes up the water into water vapor and stores as a clouds, right? So you can see the water is evaporated into water vapor. So this is called evaporation. So evaporation is faster when the exposed surface is large. When you expose the surface of the water in a larger place, so the evaporation will be more faster, right? So this process is called evaporation. What is evaporation? Change of liquid into gas. Liquid into gas. The process in which liquid changes into gas is called evaporation, right? So the next one we are going to see, these are the process or heating process. So melting and evaporation or heating process. So melting changes the solid into liquid. Evaporation changes the liquid into gas. So this process is heating process. So now we are going to see about cooling process. So now I am going to change the reverse process. So water vapor into water. So I can change the water vapor into water. So when the water is changed into water vapor, sometimes if you keep a lid or a plate on top of it, so the water vapor touches the plate. So the plate is cooled, right? So when the water vapor touches the plate which is cooled, again the water vapor, because of the cooling effect, the water vapor is changed into water. So that's why when you open and see the plate, you can see some tiny drops, right? So it means that there is some process. For example, condensation. So this process is going on. So CONDENSATION, condensation. So what is condensation? The process in which gas changes into liquid. So on cooling, so the gas is changed into liquid, the water vapor is changed into water. So you can see the water, right? So the water vapor is changed into water. So here also, so I am holding the water vapor in a glass and I am cooling it so that it becomes into water, right? So this is how we get the rain. So when the water vapor is stored in the clouds, so when the clouds gets cooled, so the water vapor which is stored in the clouds, after cooling it is changed into water. So that is why we get rain, right? So this process is called condensation, right? So next process we are going to see is freezing. Of course, you are all familiar with this process. So when usually in your summer time, right? So usually we hold the water in a water bottle and we used to keep in a fridge or a freezer, right? To make it ice cubes, right? So the change of water into ice cubes, right? So this process is called freezing, F-R-E-Z-I-N-G, freezing. So freezer, right? Freezing. So the process in which liquid changes into solid on cooling is called freezing. So you can see the water is changed into ice, the liquid is changed into solid, right? So this process is called freezing, right? So almost in this class you learned about what are the states of matter, what are the states of materials. So it is available in three forms. What are they? Solids, liquids and gases. So what are the examples of solids? Bench, chair, table, water bottle, book, pen, box. All these are examples of solids. Solids have a definite shape, definite size, they do not flow, right? So then we saw about liquids. So liquids, examples of water, oil, milk, juice, etc., right? So these liquids does not have a definite shape and they have a definite size, they flow. And the thirdly we saw is gas, right? So the example of gas is air, water vapor, steam and oxygen, carbon dioxide, right? So these gases does not have shape and size, they flow very easily and they occupies all the available spaces, right? So and we saw about the change of forms. So we can change the solid into liquid, liquid into gas, again gas into liquid and liquid into solid, right? So solid into liquid is called melting and then liquid into gas is called evaporation. These processes are called heating, right? Again water vapor into water, that process is called condensation. Again water into ice or solid. So this process is called freezing. So the below process is on cooling, right? So these are the things that we saw. So you will get questions like what is melting, what is freezing, what is evaporation. You have to explain in clear way the process in which that form, the gas is changed into liquid on cooling. So like that you have to write very clearly for in your exams also, right? So below, after this video, below in this description we have given the lesson, subject material, question bank and self-assessment. So go through all that and do the self-assessment regularly so that it will be easy for you to next year academic classes also, right? So don't ever waste your time, try to do some exams or yourself do some self-assessment so that it will be easy for you to learn further lessons, right? So thank you children for watching. Have a good day.